All right, welcome to part 2 of week 12, mobile app 2. And we're just going to be covering a little bit about assignment 5, introduction and brief of this assignment. Ignore the due dates. I haven't updated this little section yet, but this is going to be part of our other major project. So you guys did your mobile portfolio website, and now you're going to be doing a testing document as well as assignment, as well as a project to which I'll talk about a little bit here, which will be your other 20% of your mark, okay? All right, so this assignment will be due on the last day of class, which is December 17th, and it will be worth 14% of your final grade. That could change a little bit depending on how I weight these presentations that everybody does today and next December 17th, next sprint. But basically, a little bit of an intro here. Testing, support, and stabilization are integral parts of phases of the SDLC. It's a vital process because it allows us to keep our users happy and change what we want and what they want to keep our app the best app it can possibly be. In this assignment, we'll be testing our application prototypes with a testing document and documenting the results, updating and making changes, and then publishing it to the App Store with those changes. All right, now, in order to publish to the App Store, if you're doing Android, you need a $25 fee to become a developer, which most of you guys have done from the last assignment, which was the deploying assignment. Okay, what I'm expecting for you guys to upload for this assignment is obviously a link to your updated version of your app on whatever store it's hosted on, as well as, okay, so two parts here. Number one is the link to the app with the updates, and then number two is this document that I'm going to give to you, filled out with screenshots following the instructions. Then I'll review the document to see the original results from the testing and the updated results from the testing that you did afterwards, okay? Then I'll also review your Play Store listing to make sure it shows that updated APK file from the original hosted APK, okay? So you're gonna actually update your app. You're gonna run an upgrade on your app on whichever store it's on. You're gonna submit a link to your app on the store on Blackboard as well as this document, okay? I expect your app to be running without any errors or bugs. I don't expect your app to be fully finished or fully functional in terms of, for some of you guys who have co-assurance, you're not actually partnered with an insurance company, right? But you can have mock insurance documents in there for the time being to just kind of fill that space out so that it's sort of a prototype, right? So it's going to be a prototype that demonstrates the activities and types of actions if there's little things that you can't fully finish all of those features of, okay? But pretty much, you're at the end of an 8-month development cycle here. You're going to have a pretty fully developed app, okay? So if we can get payment working, if we can get those APIs working, then let's get them working, okay? Let's continue. Oops. So I also expect this attached document to be completed with screenshots and descriptions of what you tested for. So I'm looking for a before and an after with these. So first, you're going to run the tests on the current existing application on your Google Play Store or on the Apple App Store, whatever you have hosted right now. You're going to run all these tests on the original before you make any changes. Okay, so you're going to go through this document, and it's got cases for installing the app and then showing a screenshot of that working. Okay, and you're going to go through all of these changes, and then you're going to now look at what needs to be updated, look at what went wrong, look at what needs to be changed, make those changes, and then do the tests a second time to make sure that they've been all fixed. Okay, so for example, if you're trying to log in with a test username and an incorrect password, and maybe there's no warning that there was an incorrect password, well, then maybe that's failed a test, and now you need to add an incorrect password indicator, right? Okay, so then what you would do is first you'd show the example of your app that doesn't show the incorrect password warning, and then you would fix it, add the necessary code, rerun the test, and screenshot the feedback working, okay? Then what you would do is add that successful screenshot so I can see a clear before and after between the two scenarios. You'll complete this for all the tests in this document and then upload the updated and signed APK to the Play Store. So this will be 8% for submitting your testing document and 6% for the updated APK or IPA file. All right, so let's go through a couple examples of what we're looking for here. And That sun is getting very bright in my face. A couple examples of what we're looking for here for test categories, expected results, and some examples. So obviously the first thing we want to test is installation. Does our app install? Okay, and so what you're going to do, you don't have to touch this column. Whoops. You don't have to touch this column or this column. All right, you only have to touch this most right-hand side column, and you're just putting in a little description with some photos. Okay, just like a sentence point form with a photo, and then if it does or doesn't work, you're going to explain what you have to fix. All right, so expected results: app installs successfully from the store, no software is missing, the same app or old versions are detected, splash screen design is available. Okay, so you test all that, show a screenshot. All right, and I think I've got some examples here that I can show you, some good examples. Let me see here, so that you guys can kind of see a little example about what I am for. Yeah, let's look at this. Okay, so I want to make sure I'm showing you guys a good example here. There's a couple I've got. So what did this student do? So this student tested the install and it worked successfully. It shows the login screen. This one's a good one too. Cool. So here we can see she's got the test case, and then on the next page she's got the screenshot of the app on the App Store saying working as expected. So there's her little point form, and then she shows that it's got the about section, developer, whatnot, and then it's installed. Okay. The next section we have is exploratory testing. App starts up properly on launch. Orientation is correct on launch. And here she has her little comment. App launch is in a sequence and manner as expected by the end user. Performance on legacy hardware acceptable. App runs in correct orientation and doesn't crash if the phone's rotated. So here we go. We can see the app running and it says working as expected. Let me show you on a couple of the other examples here. PC did a pretty good job. So here we've got a screenshot of it running in the correct orientation. Application stability. App can run on low battery power and under recharge power. So here we can see, is the phone plugged in? Yes, it is. We can see that it's charging, and we can see that the app still runs while it's being charged. Okay, app can be recovered properly after the phone's put to sleep. So obviously, you put the phone to sleep and then started it back up, and you can see that it works. There's also a way. There was also a submission that had videos, right, of this kind of stuff, and I actually really enjoyed the video submission. Let's see, not that one. Anyways, so there's a screenshot of that. Uninstallation. App can be uninstalled smoothly. No sensitive data is left behind, right? So here we go. You can see it uninstalls this is the local file system, and we can see the file has been uninstalled. All major headings section other primary text is spelled correctly, so spell check. All secondary areas of text such as annotations are spelled correctly. Standard conventions are used for abbreviations. So we show that spelling error is defined as this. All major verbiage is grammatically correct, right? So we go through, we check all of the text. So that is an okay example of a submission. I'm trying to find the one that I really liked with the videos, but I can't find it right now. I know you guys will do a better job submitting that because it's a group assignment. When I gave this to them, it was just a original assignment, so there wasn't as much effort put into it. But with a group, you guys should be able to split up the testing. Someone could take this page, someone could take the next page. But if we zoom out a little bit here and get an example, you could put links to little YouTube videos if you want, so that you can show you locking the screen and then opening it back up, and the app is running completely fine. Speed and performance, we're going to test the speed of the application, right? It doesn't impact the user experience, so you can just show the app working. Unexpected behavior. The app must be able to handle unexpected behavior. For example, erogenous actions, multiple key presses. If the app has a pop-up notification or a message or a voice to indicate impromptu behavior instead of a crash, right? And then error reports are sent properly. So does it handle crashes or does it just crash? So try to do some unexpected behavior, tap your screen all over the place, try to log in with some weird symbols, and just show that your app's not crashing. Conflicts and interrupts. So this one's kind of a cool one. An incoming SMS while using the app. So you're going to show a screenshot of that and your app doesn't crash. As well as, I think there's another one later for a phone call. Pausing and playing music or launching the camera from while you're inside of your app. So it still functions correctly, right? There's no data loss and you don't get stuck on the current app. Plugging or unplugging your USB cord. All right, because sometimes this stuff, it changes your app the way it works and you might not know there's a bug. So this is what we're testing for. USB can be plugged and unplugged smoothly. Okay, so, screenshot or a little video of, showing that you're doing that. Automatically closing the lock screen, switching to another app smoothly using that, multitask option. The app can be recovered from a force quit. So, obviously swipe up and close it, but then open it up again, and then you'll see that everything has been erased. You're not still logged in as a user. It actually does a fresh relaunch of the app. If you lose network connection, so if you turn off your router or you just turn your phone into airplane mode, the app is fine. It doesn't crash. Checking all function keys on mobile, both touchscreen and keyboard, to make sure that, there's interaction that's allowed with the user. Checking the UI consistency. So this one's now checking for the design. So we can see here this theme has changed to user interface. So I've tried to organize these by theme. So these are all conflict interrupt testings. And if we go up a little bit, this is speed and performance, unexpected behavior. So then I went down into user interface testing. And what that looks like is you're looking for app can recognize all usage of app name and other branding are consistent through the app. So we're checking our UI consistency here. So you can show some screenshots of your design. Minimal number of colors are used and in appealing array, consistent use of fonts. So just prove that, use some arrows and some little bullet points to say like this font is sans serif, it's consistent. We can see I've used 12 point on this screen and 14 point on this screen for whatnot. From a very small phone to a tablet size, making sure that the UI is consistent and handled correctly and everything's still centered and adaptable. It's not just still looks like a phone screen on an iPad. So test that. Test that it runs on a few different devices. Test that it runs when a notification message or a sound, if there's a mistake or an operation, so error prevention detection. So i.e., an example of that would be logging in with the wrong password, providing friendly notification messages for a user mistake, right? So if the user tries to punch in a bunch of numbers that aren't allowed, or they try to purchase Cove Assurance for like $1, have a little feedback message and show that. When you're using connection, show that there's encryption for sending and receiving data. So I want to see that your password's encrypted, stuff from your database is encrypted, and prove that you're hashing it. Logging in, logging out with correct or incorrect password and showing the warnings for that. So here's a section for log in, log out. Logging in other ways. So iPhone 10 can, do optical scanning, fingerprint scanner. Does that stuff work? Show me that stuff works. If it doesn't work, just say not applicable. Logging out. So your password's erased when you try to log back in unless there's a remember password button. There's a whole bunch of these. So this is the first section. So please fill in the above table with screenshots of each scenario documenting it. Then below, I've duplicated the entire thing, but this time you're going to do it after you've updated all of those bugs. Okay, so all of these are potential bugs or errors in your code. So then what you're going to do is scroll back down and we kind of restart. All right. And here we go again, installation. And now you've got to test everything a second time with your updated app. Okay, and test as you go, obviously, to make sure that they're all updated, but it'll take some time. Maybe split up the testing with different people. If you want to do videos, that's really cool, and you can do YouTube links in here. Screenshots are also accepted, and just read through all of the instructions in here because I give examples, I give really helpful hints, and it's a long document, but you know, it's a decent amount of work. So this is going to be due December 17th, 11:59 p.m. So I'll end this recording here, just as a little bit of a descriptor about that assignment. Cool, cool, cool.